Wealth isn't an income problem, it is a burn rate problem. You make $200,000 a year and still be broke if your lifestyle costs $200,000. You got the promotion, you got the raise, you feel rich for about 2 weeks. Then you sign the lease on a nicer apartment, lease the new car, and now you're right back where you started, except with more expensive obligations. You put on golden handcuffs, and now you can't quit, you can't pivot, can't breathe. You are a slave to your own overhead. By the end of this video, you will have the overhead containment protocol. You will stop eating your own seed corn. You will learn to capture the surplus from your raises and build a war chest, giving you the ultimate luxury, the ability to walk away. I used to think making more money would solve everything. Every time I got a raise or a bonus, I thought, okay, now I can finally feel secure. Now I'll finally have breathing room. But guess what? It never worked out that way. Because every time my income went up, my lifestyle went up to match it. Better apartments, better car, better dinners, better everything. And within a few months, I was back to the same feeling. Stretched thin, checking my account before purchases, feeling like I couldn't afford to take risks or remake changes. I was making significantly more money than I had a few years earlier, and somehow I felt just as trapped. That's when I realized the problem was never my income. It was my burn rate. I was spending everything I made, which meant no matter how much I earned, I had zero margin, zero flexibility, and zero freedom. The wake-up call for me came when I was working at Raytheon, managing $45 million in material spend. Part of my job was watching how government programs handled their budgets. And there was this dangerous mentality called use it or lose it. If a program didn't spend its entire budget by the end of the fiscal year, they would lose that money. It would get allocated, so managers would scramble to spend every dollar, even on unnecessary stuff, just to keep their budget intact for next year. It was insane to watch. Programs adding features nobody asked for, buying equipment they didn't need, destroying their profit margin just to hit a spending target. And then I realized that is exactly what I was doing with my personal finances. Every time I had money in my checking account, I felt like it needed to be spent. Like having cash sitting there was somehow wasteful. I have an extra $500. I should get that thing that I've been eyeing. That's the use it or lose it mentality applied to your personal life. And it's how people go broke no matter how much they make. And that's what I teach now. How to capture margin, how to build a war chest, how to keep your overhead low enough that money actually equals freedom. It is time to restructure your personal P&L, your profit and loss statement. Because right now, you are operating at zero margin. Every dollar that comes in goes right out. Here is the 3-phase overhead containment protocol. Phase 1, margin capture. A business that spends 100% of its revenue has zero profit margin. That business is failing. It has no cushion, no flexibility, no future. You need to start treating yourself like a business that actually posts a profit. And here's the problem. When you get a raise, your lizard brain immediately calculates what you can now afford. I'm making $10,000 more. Great, I can finally get that nicer apartment. And just like that, the entire raise is absorbed into lifestyle. You are making more, but keeping exactly the same amount. Nothing. Here's a tactic, the 50-50 raise rule. When you get a raise, any bonus, any income increase, here's a new protocol. You are only allowed to upgrade your lifestyle by 50% of the increase. The other 50% is capture margin. It never touches your checking account. It goes directly to saving or investment before you can spend it. Here's an example. You get a $10,000 per year raise. $5,000 can go towards lifestyle improvement. Better apartment, better car, whatever you want. The other $5,000 goes straight into your war chest. Automatically. Non-negotiable. What this does, you still get to enjoy the win. You're not living like a monk. You get a lifestyle bump. You earn it. But your wealth gap also expands every single year. The space between what you make and what you spend grow with every raise, every promotion, every bonus. You are systematically pulling profit out of the company of you incorporated instead of spending every dollar the moment it arrives. This is how wealthy people actually build wealth, not by making more, but by keeping more. Phase 2, the fixed cost audit. Stop worrying about the $5 latte. I'm serious. The personal finance internet is obsessed with small daily purchases like they are the reason you're broke. And guess what? They are not. Coffee doesn't make you broke. Contracts make you broke. The latte is $5. You buy it maybe 20 times a month. That's $100. Your car payment, on the other hand, is $600 per month. Your apartment is $2,000 per month. Your insurance, your subscription, your membership. All of these fixed costs that hit your account, whether you use it or not. That's where the real money goes. That's what actually trapped you. The concept, fixed operating costs. These are your structural expenses, the baseline cost of running your life every single month. For example, housing, transportation, insurance, subscription, memberships, debt payment. These costs exist whether you have a good month or a bad month, whether you're working or not, whether you're happy or miserable. Here's the tactic, the contract lockdown. Here's the rule. Never sign a long-term contract based on your best month of income. Sign it based on your worst month. So for example, if you make $10,000 in sales one month, but your base salary is $3,000 per month, you do not get a $2,500 apartment. Because when the sales dip, and they will, you are underwater. You are stressed, and you are trapped. The action. Look at your car right now. If your car payment causes you to stress, you are driving a liability, not an asset. You are dragging a heavy sled that's slowing you down. Sell it. Get something cheaper. Lower the monthly nut. And yes, I know that feels like going backward. I know the car feels like a symbol of progress. But progress isn't what you drive. It is how much freedom you have. Now look at your apartment. Look at every fixed cost in your life. Ask yourself, if my income dropped by 30% tomorrow, which of these will crush me? Those are your vulnerabilities. Those are what need to be restructured. You cannot maneuver quickly if you're weighed down by obligation. Reduce the fixed costs and reduce your risk. Phase 3, the ejection seat test. Phase 3 is about the ultimate measure of financial health, your runway. Wealth isn't really a dollar amount, it is a time amount. Here's the visual. Imagine your job is a fighter jet. You are flying a mission. Now imagine if something goes wrong. The engine catches on fire, maybe it's a layoff, maybe it's a toxic boss, maybe it's burnout so severe you can't keep going. Can you eject? Or is your ejection seat broken because you have no saving? If you are living paycheck to paycheck, You're forced to go down with the plane. You can't leave the bad job. You can't take the risk. You can't say no. You have no leverage. The ejection seat is your runway, the number of months you can survive without income. The tactic, the freedom calculation. Here's the formula. Your total cash divided by the monthly burn rate equal the month of your freedom. Here's an example. If you have $10,000 saved and you spent $5,000 per month, you have 2 months of freedom. 2 months before you're in crisis mode. But here's the insight that changes everything. If you can cut your burn rate down to $2,500 per month, that same $10,000 is now 4 months of freedom. You just double your runway without earning a single extra dollar. The math. Lowering expenses by $1,000 per month doesn't just save you $10,000. It extends your runway. It fixes your ejection seat. It gives you the options you didn't have before. This is why burn rate matters more than income, because you can't always control how much you make, but you can always control how much you spend. Here's the target. At a minimum, you want 6 months of runway, 6 months of expensive safe and accessible. That's not rich, that's just secure. That's having a functional ejection seat. If you have less than that, your first priority isn't investing, isn't side hustle, isn't anything else. It is building that cushion. Because without it, you are flying without a parachute, and eventually every plane has problem. I want you to do something uncomfortable today. Here's your challenge. Audit your last 3 months of spending. Every transaction. Don't just glance at it, actually look at it. Find one thing, just one upgrade you made that bring you zero strategic value, a subscription you forgot about, a membership you don't use, a car payment that's too high, an apartment that's stretching you thin. Find something that's just overhead, just drag, just weight on the sled. And I want you to cancel it, downgrade, get rid of it. Then take that money, whatever it is, and move it to your war chest. Capture that capital. Yes, it might feel small, it might feel like it doesn't matter, but every dollar you capture is a dollar of freedom. Every reduction in the burn rate is an extension of your runway. And here's the mindset. Don't build a cage out of gold and wonder why you can't fly. That's what lifestyle creep is. You are building a beautiful prison. Everything looks nice, but you can't move. You can't take risks. You can't say no. And you cannot leave. The goal isn't to live in deprivation. The goal is to live deliberately, to make sure your spending reflects your actual values and priority, not just mindless lifestyle inflation. Keep your overhead low and your options stay high. That's freedom. That's leverage. That is what this is really about. Now, I want to know who's cutting the fat. Comment "contain" below if you are fixing your burn rate today. If you are done letting lifestyle creep eat your races and ready to start building real wealth. I want to see who's taking this seriously. And if this reframe how you think about money, if you have been making more but feeling just as trapped, hit that like and subscribe button and turn on the bell notification. We are building a community of people who are done trading income for overhead and ready to build actual freedom. And your support helped this reach someone else who's stuck in golden handcuff right now. And guess what? There are a lot of us out there. Remember, lower the burn rate, build the war chest. Force strong and thrive on, my friends.